What is going on, everybody? It is Ed here for the news and reveals for the week of 3/17 to 3/31. This is a big, chunky, wonky video, so we have to get right into it. I do want to let you guys know, though, I will be adding more graphics onto the slides to give a bit more context to what we're talking about. So if you like this, let me know in the comments down below and leave this video a like. If you don't like this video, feel free to hit the dislike button, but please let me know what you dislike so that I may change. Anyway, let's get right into the video. First off, we're going to be covering general news. There was a ban list, and it will be going into effect May 1st for Worlds. We're going to be talking about the JP ban list and the English ban list from here. For the ban list for Standard, we already expected no changes in V Premium, but in Standard, they have announced the Worlds meta. There will be no changes to the ban list. But I did say there will be a non-zero chance that this will be going into an April stream. This aged like milk, I'm not going to lie. But earlier when I first made these slides, I said there's a non-zero chance of another list to be given in the April stream, but they did further announce later on that the next announcement stream will be during right before Top Cut at Worlds. So unfortunately, we will be going into the Bob Sagara and no Saragon hit meta. If you know what I mean by that, here's the JP's ban list that went into effect this month on the 1st, where they restricted Veilor to 1, Saragon is choice restricted in Rezael, Charm Out is put to 2, and then Isazo and one of the Gandiva's units were raised to limited to 2 copies. So it is quite a different change than compared to its English list. So let's go into some of the things that they went into detail about the list in English. So for the Rezael, Fate of One of Miracles Rezael, along with Fate of King of Miracles Rezael Vita, while it is the most used ride line during this period, it did not have a particularly high win rate. Thus, we will not be implementing card restrictions at this point, but we will continue to monitor its performance alongside upcoming releases. And they did say the same thing for Destined King of Infinity, Levidress Empoleon, and its Destined One counterpart. So even though they have been played a lot, their winning rate is not big enough, according to Bushiroad, to warrant a ban. They did also make a honorable mention about El Glima, or Batman as the community has liked to call him. Well, it's seen substantial usage in this period, and its usage rate is still relatively low overall. Thus, we will not be implementing card restrictions at this point. If you guys don't know about Batman, if you see the God Hand, you can kill your opponent on grade 2 if you go first, because these 3 cards together is a nightmare. I'll give them a minute to read on screen, but essentially they feed into each other to keep restanding and getting orders into your order zone to resolve these skills multiple times, because they are not hard once per turns. Let's talk about the premium hits. So they did choice restrict. If you're new to the ban list, that means you cannot play them in the same deck. The crest for Luard that was in his standard stride deck set is choice restricted with his V counterpart. And also, this card that was a common in set 9 of Overdress, Reverence Rush Dragon. It is banned from all decks that fall under Keter Sanctuary, which is Genesis, Gold Paladin, Shadow Paladin, Angel Feather, Oracle Think Tank, and Royal Paladin. And the reason I have the grade 3 heals on the side is that's mainly because you could just keep looping and getting heals on every damage check or drive check, depending on circumstances. But it's mainly for the drive checks. It's just a recursion tool that they did not like to see. The next choice restriction in Dragon Empire was the Shiranui crest, and they have banned him with choice restriction. You cannot use him in the G versions of Shiranui because they think the crest power was overwhelming when you use the history strides. Same thing with Messiah, with Asleep Messiah and the G versions of Alter Ego and Mazer Gear. Because of the history stride collections for all 3 of these, they believe the crest became overpowering and it led to unfair situations, I guess is the best way to phrase it. And then Hari is also choice restricted with its G counterpart, and Night Rose. They also made a ban from Stoicheia. In Largolf is now banned in all decks that fall under Stoicheia. I did have these heals up, but they are not the ones that fall under. So this would be a ban from Mega Colony, Aqua Force, all of the nations that fall under Stoicheia when they were formed into the nation system. They did put some Genesis restrictions. They have flat out banned Dreaming Dragon and Witch of Frogs Melissa, which basically those were the Genesis cards that help both mill and recur. And then they limited Shacklefetter Gagalia to 1, which one of the main decks that was affected by this was OTK and the other build with Fenrir. Nubatama has also banned Stealth Rogue Prescription Mizukaze and the Grade 4 Riku Stealth Dragon Tsukumurakan. Darker Regulars have banned Hope on Damp and Variance Hardleg. Gear Chronicle, also choice restricted. You cannot play the Crestmaker of Mazer Gear for Gear Chronicle and Steam Maiden Mellum. Also, flashbang warning. Mega Colony, they have now updated the restriction to Gridora, where Gridora is now restricted to 1 copy. And the same thing goes with Neo Nectar and Green Katrina. In the Grand Blue Nation, or clan rather, they have choice restricted Beatrice and Necro Lily. This is because you would always be able to get cards that would cause major interruptions on the board, and I guess Bushiroad didn't like interruptions. Now we're going to go over the Japanese product presentation. First off, once again touching, that's how we got this ban list. Then they announced MyGo is having a collab again, and this time with their new band, Ava Mujika. I don't know the name, so I apologize, I don't watch Band Dream. They also announced the DSR for Set 8. The DSR for Set 8 will be Weisruger with Clamp doing the DSR. They announced the new product of Ace units. Each nation will receive a 1 unit that can only be a 1 of in the deck that is an Ace unit, and it has its own Ace skill. We'll be going over a few of those skills later on in the video. They also announced Alfred is making a comeback in Festival Booster 2025. So we are going to get the reveals for that this Thursday as of posting, so stay tuned for that video to look at Alfred in depth. And I should also mention these Ace units are also coming in the Festival Booster 2025. They also showed us that in the Festival Booster that Zero and Virgilia will be receiving variants of cards. Virgilia will be Soul Saver Dragon for Alfred, and Zero is, get its name, I'll have it up on screen now. And then they announced Booster Pack 9. So as you can see, Platina Ezel is making a comeback along with units from Youthquake. And they also revealed Daikaiser! Daikaiser is also making a comeback. I saw Chris flip his lid because he was so excited, especially with the collab they're doing, which is Bang Brave, Bang Bravern. It's made, the artist who did that is also the artist for Daikaiser, so it felt only right that Bushiroad said, let's just do a collab with both of them. They also announced in a shocking revelation, Buddy Fight is also making a collaboration with Cardfight Vanguard again. So Buddy Fight is returning from the dead, it seems. Going over the product schedule one more time. 328, the new Zero and Astarion deck sets drop. Leonorn and Drajuled just dropped in 411. Set 9 will drop on the 6th of June. Booster Pack 8 drops on April 11th. Festival Booster and Festival Booster events will be dropping on the 2nd of May. And then the Buddy Fight collab will happen in July. It will be a booster set. Also, they finally touched the unfortunately dying product. Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days 2 will be receiving Set 4, which includes the destined ones except for Odium, starting on the 17th of April. So to commemorate, they're adding Akihabra's Pilot, Senka, and Yuna as also playable characters. They also said that there will be a side story featuring Jinky, which he will be able to be attained for free if you play the game during this period of April 17th to June 30th. Now, we got a lot of card reveals to go over, so let's get started. Happy Invitation Meal. Auto while it's in the drop. When a card is put into your order zone other than during your battle phase, if you do not have a unit with the same name as this card, you may Energy Blast 4 and call it to the rear guard. Cards that can use this, essentially there's only a few lyrical decks right now that utilize the order zone, which is Michu, Kyoka, Fennel, Loro Nerl, and Lutetia, and it's because their main gimmicks are to use orders to get things moving around their board. Hip Hop Streamer Serral. Auto, when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle from hand. Counterblast 1, choose a trigger unit other than the over trigger from your drop and call it to the Guardian Circle. So that might help you make an easy 20k guard for just the cost of 1 Counterblast, but it's a common and that price is really expensive, especially for lyrical decks, so I don't see that being used as often. Everybody in Lyrical Monasterio can really use that card, but I don't see it being used. Resting Perch. Play this with the Counterblast 1. Choose up 3 grade 1 normal units from your drop without Sentinel and put them to the bottom of your deck in any order. If you chose 3 units, draw a card. A lot of cards in Keter Sanctuary can use this, but the one that I think of right now off of the top of my head would be Hound Raisers. because they would just like to keep getting their hounds and high beasts back into the deck so that they could continue to filter. And then going over the card everybody was breaking the rock for, Youthberg. Unsullied Eyes Youth. This is his starter. This unit is wrote upon. If you want second, draw a card. His new grade 1, Squire of Spear Streaks Youth. When this unit is wrote upon by Sorrowful Ardent Light Youth, Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them and reveal it, put it into your hand if it is a card with Youthberg in its card name, and call it to the rear guard if it's a grade 2 or less unit card, and shuffle the deck. Sorrowful Ardent Light Youth, when this unit is wrote upon by a unit with Revel Dress ability, Energy Blast 3, choose a grade 2 or greater unit from your drop and put it into your hand. And then the new Skyfall Arms, Rebuild. Revel Dress, auto in the Vanguard circle. At the end of the battle this unit attacked, perform one of the following. You may choose one of card with Revel Dress in its card name from your hand and write it as standing, and this unit gets drive -2. Or, Counterblast 1, choose a unit with Revel form from its card name from your drop and write it as stand, and this unit gets drive -2 until the end of turn. Auto. When this unit is wrote upon during your battle phase, discard a card from hand, choose one of your Vanguards, and increase or decrease its drive to 1 until the end of turn. When this unit would ride on a grade 3 with Revel form in its card name, bind that unit that was wrote upon instead of putting it back into Soul. Meaning, if you put any of the other forms and you ride it for this new updated skill, instead of them going into your Soul for skills like Full Blast, they will go to the bind zone instead. So that leads to them kind of pushing Youthberg to use the new Revel form, which is Exist. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle by a Revel Dress ability, perform all of the following. Energy Blast 3, choose one of your rear guards and stand it. All your units in the front row get plus 10,000 power until the end of turn. If your bind zone has a card with Revel form in its card name, they get plus 20,000 instead of 10. And if your bind zone has a card with the same name as this unit gets critical plus 1 until the end of turn. Although at the end of battle, choose a card with the Revel Dress ability in your soul and write it as rest, meaning you would go back to rebuild. So, like I said earlier, rip the other Revel forms, they'll be missed. And someone already kind of like tried to break it with this graphic you see here. So the way this reads is you get Karina, you put Exist into Soul, Soul Blast using the hostage order, you set that order. You call from the drop the Keter Stoicheia donation, bind it on your opponent's attack, and then with only a 2 to 3 card combo, on your turn 3, Exist is already in the bind zone, making sure your front row gets plus 20,000 and 1 crit. As you can see what Doge is saying at the very bottom. Will people be able to pull that off reliably? We have to see with further testing and actual tournament play. Support that goes with Youthberg is Running Beast Fang, Surwind. If your bind zone has a card with Revel form in its card name, this unit gets intercept and can intercept from the back row, and it gets plus 2k power, which is also active on your opponent's turn too. So how it works is whether you use the combo I mentioned before, or you're just finishing up your first grade 3 turn, then that means when you swap to opponent's turn, since that new Revel form is in the bind zone, all these abilities automatically trigger. Knight of Rebuking Dejlik. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and choose up to 1 card with Youthberg in its card name from among them. Reveal it and put it into your hand and then shuffle the deck. Auto in the rear guard circle. When this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Youthberg in its card name, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn. And they also showed us he will be receiving a secret rare for this booster box, set 8. Then the other one you noticed on the side of the box, Nebula Knight of Brilliance Celis and Berg the Sky Rulers. These are from the Youthquake manga, and they will be making their debut in set 8. They also showed us Funny Amusement Park Full of Sweets Heart Lulu, Malworm Sybilt, Blazing Lion Platina Ezel. They will also be within set 8. So, a lot of people, we don't know what Platina Ezel does yet, but we can already make a safe assumption by looking back at previous cards. As you know, Blonde Ezel was basically like a copy and paste from his earlier V version. So if we do the same thing with Platina Ezel, we can expect in the Counterblast 1, when the top card of your deck would be put into the trigger zone for the first drive check this turn, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your trigger zone, and call the rest to the rear guard instead. Instead, if your soul has 2 or more grade 3 cards, perform this second and more drive checks as well. So that just means you get to pick what you get to put into your order zone and get more cards out for multi-attack on the field. Do we know if this is going to be the skill? Probably not, but the only thing we have to work off of right now. Now, a card that was very popular on Twitter, Bone Staff Mage Grivnia. Auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle from hand, soul charge 1 and perform one of the following based on the grade of the card you soul charged. If it's a 1 or less, until the end of the turn, this unit gains boost and plus 5k power. 2 or more, until the end of your opponent's next turn, this unit gains intercept and plus 5k shield. Who can use this and how? Baron Magnus. We all know Baron Magnus loves placing cards from soul and all around the board. Hari's always good about calling cards also from the soul. Langmire. I don't see it being too used in this, and I don't see it too much being used in Drajult except for different grade requirements. And then they showed us B-Hero support, Galactic B-Hero Sleek Kuon. When this card is scouted, if you have a Vanguard with B-Hero in its card name, cost Soul Blast 1, choose a card with B-Hero in its card name that's different from this unit from your drop and scout it to your base. So that basically allows you to put 2 cards in the base for the price of 1. And then you have Levin Prondia. When this unit is placed in the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with B-Hero in its card name and you do not have put a base in your order zone this turn, you scout a card with B-Hero in its card name from your hand, put it to your base, search your deck for up to 1 base card, and put it into your order zone. And if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. You're still able to play another base because this is placing it into the order zone as opposed to playing it. It also has the secondary skill. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn for each base in your order zone. And then they showed us the new B-Hero. It is Galactic B-Hero, Stately Closered. During your turn, if your soul has a grade 3 B-Hero with a different card name in this unit, gains plus 5k. If your soul has a grade 3 B-Hero with a different name than this unit gains plus 5k. So that it means Dinos will still be in the ride line. This will be a secondary card to run. Auto on the Vanguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Counterblast 1, put 2 rear guards with B-Hero in their card names into your soul, choose one of your grade 3 scouted cards with a different name than this unit, and ride it as stand, and it gets drive -1 until the end of turn. If you rode, scout this card into your base, and at the end of turn, choose one of the cards scouted by this effect, and ride it as rest. So basically you ride back to this card at the end of the turn. So essentially you would swing with the new one, get back onto Dinos, and this would enable multi-attack, and then you would ride back to her at the end. Wisdom Brave Shooter. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater card with Flagberg in its card name, Energy Blast 3, choose a Tear Dragon from your drop and call it to the rearguard circle. Continuous on the rearguard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Flagberg in its name, this unit gets boost. So we got plenty of Tear Dragons already in the game for Flagberg to use, such as Inlet Pulse and Tideline Dragon, so we will see how it comes out. Agras Assault. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Flagberg in its card name, all of your Tear Dragons gain Intercept and plus 5k shield. Ketan Sage Lefia. When your order zone has 2 or more arenas, this unit gets plus 5k power and 5k shield, which is also active on your opponent's turn too. An axe skill while it's in the drop. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Rotovisor in its card name and you do not have a rearguard with the same name as this card, you can Energy Blast 2 and rest an arena order from your order zone and call this to the rearguard circle. So right now, currently in the game, there was one that was also revealed later, we'll go over, but we only have 2 as in the game at this moment for bases. The one that came out for Dayusha for the Dai base, and Aegis, so you can use either of those base cards to get this skill off. Kavar Sharpshooter. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rotovisor in its card name, choose one of your other units and it gets plus 5k into the end of turn. When this unit is put on the Guardian circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rotovisor in its card name and your order zone has 2 or more arenas, Energy Blast 2 and this gains plus 10k shield until the end of battle. Now onto the card that really shook up the anime, or the archetype rather, Revelation Dragon Mezodia. During your turn, if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, this unit gets plus 5k. Auto on the rearguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Retire this unit to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose any number of them, discard them, and if you discarded 2 or less cards, shuffle your deck. So Night Rose is good for using this, Roa is good for using this, and Zorga is good for using this because they all have a built-in sacrifice mechanic for their archetypes. Denial Fluid Dragon. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, Counterblast 1, choose a trigger. Once again, it's the same card as before. I don't see it getting much play. Every Stoichea can do it, but I don't see them using it. Ormer Sem Verdario. You could play this card if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Vice Ruger in its card name. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, return until the end of turn. All your Vanguards get the red text, auto in the Vanguard circle once per turn. When your rear guard with Mystic in its card name is placed on the rear guard circle by this unit's ability, the cost of that unit's original auto abilities is reduced by 1 counterblast until the end of turn. So this allows you to either use the Stargate order, or you use this as your order for turn to get more abilities off. And then they revealed the second Mystic Midgar Somer Garzoms. Auto, when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle during your battle phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Vice Ruger in its card name, counterblast 1, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, this unit cannot be chosen by opponent's card effects and can attack from the back row. Continuous on the rearguard circle. During your turn, if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, this unit gets power plus 5, but if you played a normal order this turn, it gets plus 15 instead of plus 5. And this card is also getting a secret rare. I feel bad for all of the Vice Ruger players who are going to want to max out rarity this deck. Now, this is the Regalis piece that was revealed for the Leonorn deck set. If the grade of your Vanguard is lower than your opponent's Vanguard, you could play this ability by ignoring the grade. So, meaning if it's your opponent's turn 2 and you're in grade 1 going second, you could play this even though it's a grade 2 card. Choose one of your opponent's units and it gets minus 5k until the end of turn. But if your opponent Persona Road this turn, it's minus 10 instead of minus 5. And now, with that, we have the whole list of the Leonorn deck set revealed. Honestly, it's pretty much of a solid list. There are a few changes, obviously, you would make to it, but overall, for the price you're paying, it's a pretty great product. They also revealed that there will be Aurora, crit, draw, and front triggers, and they made a point to show that the front trigger is the plus 5k if your opponent's at grade 3. And they also showed that there will be signed versions of these cards as well. Moving to the Drajul deck list, Shrouded in Darkness. This card I expecting to see a lot of play. Let me read it off for you. If you did not ride from the ride deck this turn, this ability can be played without paying its cost. The cost is CB1. Choose up to 2 normal units with the total grades are less than or equal to your Vanguard. If they have different names from each other and don't have Sentinel from your drop, call them to the rearguard circle. If the number of cards is 1 or less, put this card into your soul. The first sentence may seem a bit confusing, but all 3 conditions of this card you call from drop. And then that was in the Drajuled. But as my one buddy said, it's a decent card, but it's probably going to be seen in more decks rather than Drajuled itself. Michiru will also receive crit, draw, and front triggers, and they will also be saying they will have signed cards. My song for you. Choose one of your rear guards, and it gets red text. Auto in the rear guard circle. When your unit is placed in the rearguard circle during your battle phase, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn. The main deck that I think this could be used with right now is Chris Rain, because it's able to just keep bouncing cards to various locations and putting them back onto the board. Sprightly Jump There After. Auto in the rearguard circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's front row rearguards and move it to the Guardian circle. A lot of people are expecting this to be used in decks like Siana, which requires cards to just be moved or removed from the board so that she can get her bonus skills off. Pentatolation Sorceress. During your turn, if you have a grade 3 or Vanguard with Sorceress in its card name, this unit gets plus 5k power. While it's in the drop, if you have a Vanguard with Sorceress in its card name is placed during your ride phase, Energy Blast 3 and call this card to the rearguard circle. Look at the top card of your deck and either put it to the top of the deck or into your soul. If you put this card into soul, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn, meaning it will be a 20k base unit. And of course, we know the only 2 versions of Hexo Orb will be the one that we use in this deck. Knight of Coming Light, Hemelsent. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, choose up to 1 card. You know the rest. Don't see it being used. Everyone uses it, but probably nobody will. Then they showed off the Ava Mujica cards. So going off of it, this is its starter. I don't think I have to explain what the starter does. Exposed Secrets Oblivionis. When this is ride from the starter, search your deck for up to 1 Ava Mujica music card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle the deck. And then here is the grade 1 song card that every Bang Dream card gets. This one is called Kill Kiss. When this card is put on the rearguard circle, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up the 1 Ava Mujica from among them, reveal it, and put it back into your hand and shuffle your deck. Shouldering Determination, Sakiko Tokawa. When this unit is rode upon by Proud Oblivionis, the grade 1 we just looked at, look at the top 7 and add 1 Ava Musica card from top 7, reveal it, and put it to your hand and then shuffle your deck. And then the grade 3, Proud Oblivionis. Act on the Vanguard Circle. If you did not play in order this turn, Counterblast 1, search your deck or drop for up to 1 Ava Musica music order and play it. And if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. This will consume your 1 order per turn. Auto on the Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle, your grade 3 or less Ava Musica rearguard attacked or boost, lock that unit. This effect is mandatory. Auto on the Vanguard Circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, if you played Ava Musica music order this turn, unlocked all your locked cards. Note, reminder, that when you unlock cards at the end of turn, they are unlocked as standing, so effects such as this card cannot stand during the next stand phase do not work on Ava Musica orders or rearguards. Moving on to its support, Obedient Mortis. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle during your main phase, if you have an Ava Musica Vanguard, Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and choose up to 1 Ava Musica card from among them, reveal it and put it to your hand, and shuffle the deck. If it's in your left front row rearguard circle, when this unit is unlocked during your battle phase, you, the player, get the red text. All your front row Ava Musica rearguards get plus 5k power. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, all your back row rearguards get plus 5k power. And you gain that red text until the end of turn. Smart Timoris. Auto on the rearguard circle once per turn. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cost Energy Blast 3, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit from a different name from that unit from your drop or bind zone, and call it to the rearguard circle. And if your Vanguard is not an Ava Musica, retire this unit. Auto on the right back row rearguard circle. When this unit is unlocked during your battle phase, cost is Soul Blast 2. You countercharge 1, and if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn. Kind Amoris, left back row rearguard circle / the Guardian Circle. If your Vanguard is Ava Musica, this unit gains plus 5k power, 5k shield, which is also active during your opponent's turn too. If it's in the back left rearguard circle, this unit is unlocked during your battle phase. You counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Thotho Dolores. Auto when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle during your main phase. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, discard it, and then shuffle your deck. Auto on the right front row rearguard circle. When this unit attacks, if it was unlocked during your turn, cost, counterblast 1, draw a card. If your damage zone has 4 or more cards instead of drawing a card, this unit performs drive checks until the end of battle. The grade 2 Sun order for this deck is called Crucifix X or Crucifix 10. Crucifix Cross. You never know when it comes to Japan, so I'm just going to call it Crucifix Cross. When this unit is put on the rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is Ava Musica, choose up to 1 Ava Musica from your drop. If you do not have a rearguard with the same name as that card, call it to the rearguard circle. If your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, Ava Musica, discard a card from your hand. During your turn's end phase, all of your unlocked cards do not unlock. At the end of your opponent's next turn, choose all of your locked cards and unlock them. So this will allow you to get around all of the retire and all effects, because remember, lock cards don't exist. This was a spoiler for the anime, but it's been hence spoiled. But it's the song that goes, although in the rearguard circle once per turn. When your locked cards is unlocked during your battle phase, perform all the following based on the number of different names that were unlocked. 2 or more different names, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets crit plus 1 to the end of its battle. 4 or more, if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets drive plus 1 until the end of battle. Imprisoned 12. Play this if you have Vanguard with Oblivionist in its card name. When this unit is put in the rearguard circle, you may search your deck for up to 1 stage for Udal Mortis, ride it as standing, shuffle your deck. If you rode, put this card into your order zone. Retire all your rearguards without Mortis or Matsumi in their card names. Choose one of your Vanguards and reduce the cost of that unit's original auto abilities by 1 counterblast until the end of turn. While it's in your order zone, you cannot call cards without Mortis or Matsumi in their card names to the rearguard circle. Act on the order zone, cost either Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3. Choose a unit card with either Mortis or Matsumi in its card name from your drop and call it to the rearguard circle. Stage Doll for you, Mortis. You cannot ride this card other by the ability of Imprisoned to 12. You can also not normal ride it. Continuous on the Vanguard and rearguard circle. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and you have the total of 1 or more cards with either Matsumi or Mortis in their card name in your bind zone, this unit gets plus 5k. If you have 3 or more, it's plus 15 instead of 5k. Auto on the Vanguard circle once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Cost, counterblast 1, and bind a total of 2 units with either Matsumi or Mortis in their card names from either your hand or rearguard circle. Stand this unit and it gets drive minus 3 until the end of turn. If your opponent's grade 3 or greater, this unit gets drive plus 1, which means the second attack will have 1 drive. If your opponent's grade 3 or more, meaning this card alone allows you to get 4 drive checks. Auto when it's in the hand or drop. When a unit with Mortis in its card name is unlocked during your battle phase, bind a Obedient Mortis from your left front row rearguard circle. Call this card to your front left rearguard circle, and at the end of turn, bind that card, and that means it binds itself at the end of turn. The many Matsumi smiling in the audience seats. You may have a total of 16 of this card in the deck, and it gets all the following based on the total number of either Mortis or Matsumis in the bind zone. 2 or more, this unit gets boost. 4 or more, this unit can intercept from the back row and gets plus 5k shield. 6 or more, this unit during your turn gets plus 10k power. They will all also have signed EX rarities. And then here's one of the first ace units we'll be going over. Dragritter Midagalago. It's an ace unit. Its ace skill is auto when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle other than during the battle phase. This unit gets plus 5k until the end of turn. Energy Blast 3, draw a card. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards, and until the end of turn, all cards with that chosen rearguard circle loses all of their abilities and cannot gain new ones. Then put all of the cards in the chosen rearguard circle into drop. So basically, it retires and then removes all the abilities of cards in the circle until the end of turn. Auto, when this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. Until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 5k power. If your opponent has no rear guards, or your opponent's rear guard was put into drop by your card's ability this turn, it gains 5k, meaning it could be a 20k beater. And then this looking ahead to next week, which will be a different video, they'll be showing off Blangmire Nexus and going over more Band Dream cards. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll be getting back to the schedule real soon, I promise. Have a good one. Stay happy. Stay healthy. I'll see you guys next time.